We are in the midst of covering more D-deck profiles as we come to the end of the year. So can someone explain to me why I'm doing V again? Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Zizzy4 here, and today I am back to cover Detonix Drill Dragon. No, that sounds completely natural. I'm in a thunderstorm right now. But the thing is that we also finally got our hands on a Narukami's right fix promo. Now, for those of you who actually believed I would do a whole year of V without talking about Narukami, you guys must not know me very well. But today we are going to talk about it, and I've picked the context for today's case study to be Detonix Drill Dragon. Detonix Drill Dragon is a great old friend of mine. We have a very long personal history, and I personally had a lot of success with him competitively as I chose him to be my main deck playing into the 2019 accel Hell meta. For those of you who don't know, that's basically when we had the whole accel 2 thing, and there was a lot of bloodshed and a lot of people hated it, and then it got worse from there on. But today I'm here with a grateful heart to look backwards. Today I'm here to see if one of Narukami's most forgotten decks still stands a chance of being playable in today's meta. The right fix promo gives us a lot of consistency, and in case for those that have not been caught up yet, it also has a V or R skill that can occur when boosted. I'm planning to use both of those skills to its highest potential to help me play Detonix Drill Dragon, to give me a chance to be able to still compete in this format. I've tested this deck and it's pretty fun. I don't think this is by means the strongest Narukami has to offer, absolutely not. Unlike the past few V deck profiles where they were, really good, this is more coming back to help the less fortunate. This is kind of a charity thing where you come back and help the poor. So really today, that's the point of today's video. If you want me to cover another Narukami case study or deck profile regarding the right fix promo, I may be happy to do it. Just leave a comment to ask me for it. But personally, this is the one that I personally really wanted to present on because Detonix means a lot to me personally. In the link in the description will be my previous Detonix Drill deck profile, which is at least 6 years old. So it is a good indication to you on how long we've come. Our grade 3 lineup, we obviously play 4 copies of Detonix Drill Dragon and 4 copies of Detonix Stinger Dragon. So yeah, if you read the manga or watched the V series anime, you know that there's 2 of them. I'm going to start with Stinger. Stinger, when placed on VOR, count plus 1, choose one of your opponent's from regards and bind it, and it gains 5. When this unit is rolled upon, call this unit to regular circle, and the Vanguard you rolled upon gains 10. Wonderful for a card in 2018, but as of now, it's not really aging very well. The main reasons why we pick Stinger is because he is actually one of the only, I think, he's the only grade 3 Narukami unit that has a bind on rearguard skill, which is very surprising to me. Therefore, when picking a back upright, it was natural to choose his not only lore-wise, but I would say flavor-wise as well. And he kind of fits in nicely. He's a 17k attacker. If you are forced to ride into Detonix Stinger, you're not really at a loss because when you ride onto Detonix Drill, you also get an additional 10 to push in for more numbers. So all in all, I'll say it's actually pretty worthwhile, even what the fact that this used to be break right card. So yeah, I think it's not bad. If you want to play Detonix Drill without Detonix Stinger, I think it's fine. You know how in 2019 people used to play Detonix Drill and Gauntlet Buster. I myself played Detonix Drill and Thunderbreak Dragon, but I feel that Thunderbreak Dragon doesn't do enough for today's meta game at all. And Gauntlet Buster, I mean, if you want to play Gauntlet Buster, you might as well just play Eradicators because you have Draconic Descendant as well. So overall, while I was testing it, I wanted to try Detonix Stinger, and I was quite okay with him. The main bread and butter is Detonix Drill Dragon. When this unit attacks, count plus 1, choose one of your opponents from your rearguards and bind it. And then after that, at the end of the battle, this unit attacks, you can discard cards equal to the number of cards that your opponent has on rearguard circle. This unit gets plus 5,000 power drive minus 1. So basically, it's a simple pocket Ziegenberg. Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, that's why I really fell in love with this skill when it came out in 2018. It's just pocket Ziegenberg, and that's really it. And it comes with his own built-in retire, which is nice, but I will say the downside of Detonix Drill is that, he does need your entire board to be empty, which Narukami actually struggles to, especially old school Narukami. If you're playing Narukami full of generics, you actually do struggle to clear a whole board. It's not like, Eradicators or even Dungaree where that's completely different. It's so easy with them. But for Detonix, because he doesn't actually have dedicated support, we do struggle. And that is why, moving on to our grade 2s, you will see who we have picked to help us in this task. Moving on to our grade 2s, we obviously play 4 copies of our Right Fix promo. This is Dragon Dancer Madeline. We play 4 copies of a returning hero, Dragonic Death Scythe, and 3 copies of Voltage Horn Dragon. It's a very interesting lineup, as you can see, but they're all generic. They all come from multiple phases of Narukami's history. Dragonic Death Scythe is a card I believe we are all very fond of at this point. He's a recurring cast member in almost every version of Narukami, no matter where he goes. And for better or for worse, sometimes he's just downright irritating. But I would still say overall that Death Scythe in V is still worth it if you need a certain condition to be met. What are those conditions? When placed on the rearguard circle, Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponents from your rearguards, bind it, and this unit gains 3000 power to the end of the turn. So it's a nice 12k attacker, but it can scale higher. When this during your turn, if your opponent has no front row rearguards in the same column as his unit, this unit gains 5000 power, which means Death Scythe can actually reach a total of 17,000 power by himself if you use his skill, but if not, it's still 14,000 power. Considering that's what Thunderstorm Dragoon used to do, I would say Dragonic Death Scythe is a huge step up in the right direction, and it's really nice. I like this art. It's very contrasting, simple but nice. And then if you want to talk about our new generation heroes, that's definitely going to be Madeline. Madeline has the same skill where you discard it to look at top 5 cards of your deck and then a grade 2 or lower card. Yeah, and there are some targets we actually want to search, which you will be introduced to later, especially in the grade 1 segment. But her Ember Clone skill is when she attacks when boosted on Vanguard Rearguard Circle, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's columns, bind the front row rearguard in it, and then move one of the back row rearguards from that column to the front. Basically for Soul Blast, you get not only a bind but a shift as well. That's very important for Detonix Drill, who needs to clear a board eventually. So with Madeline, you can also put on a nice retire front, and you can also start to cycle. Dragonic Death Scythe costs Soul and Madeline as well. Every other option in this deck to bind is going to cost Counterblast. And that ties in straight to Voltage Horn Dragon. On Vanguard Rearguard Circle, during this turn, if a card has been bound, this unit gains 5000 power. When this unit attacks Counterblast 1, choose a column, bind the opponent's front rearguard in that circle, and then drag one from the back to the front. So it's very similar to Madeline, but it costs a Counterblast, and yeah, just more ways to bind is always better. You notice that thanks to Dragonic Death Scythe and Voltage Horn, you always get an additional plus 5000 power themselves for their own efforts. I think it's really neat. If you want to look at other options, like I said, there is stuff like Thunderstorm Dragoon, who is a lot more easier to fulfill, but the downside is that he's just a beatstick. Moving on to our grade 1s, we cover 4 copies of Mighty Bolt Dragoon, 4 copies of Eradicator Demolition Dragon, 4 copies of Rising Phoenix, and then 2 copies of Desert Gunner Kaiban. Again, all very, very, very shocking picks, and I'll explain why. They all come from various sources of life. Mighty Bolt is our generic searcher for grade 3s. He helps us search for Detonixes and our Hue Guardians, so he's definitely worth playing. His condition to gain plus 5000 power is as long as the card is bind this turn. Very similar to the same set that he came from, Voltage Horn. On the topic of bind, let's talk about Rising Phoenix. The bird is truly the word, and no matter which format you play, Rising Phoenix is also another returning cast member no matter where you go. Sometimes he's just really, really awkward to combo off with a promo. But how does V Rising Phoenix still age today? Pretty good actually. When your opponent's rearguard is bound, in this unit in the drop zone, call this unit for free and gain 3000 power. Why can't D take notes from V? But you know what? I'm completely fine with it. I really like both versions of Rising Phoenix, and I think this card is still definitely played because Detonix Drill kind of lacks advantage, so this is a nice way to get advantage. You can call it a multi-attack engine, but you know, that's kind of stretching it. For advantage, as I said, Detonix has troubles getting advantage. Let us rely on a king that has been banned, and that is Demolition Dragon. When this unit boosts an attack that hits an opponent's Vanguard, Demolition Dragon gets his full skills online. And this is Eradicated Demolition Dragon, for those of you who don't know, because there is actually a regular Demolition Dragon, but this is not the version we are talking about for today's intended purposes. At the end of the battle, this unit attack or boosted. If the attack hits, you draw, choose up to one card from your opponent's draw and bind it. If you bound a card and this unit is on the rearguard circle, move it to the store. So an on-hit draw, no matter what, is always devastating. I mean, come on, right? And for Detonix, who has a lot of attacks in, you want to be able to have a card that can really pull advantage for you. I feel really sad for the people who say, I can't afford V Narukami because I can't afford this card. Well, there's always Vanquisher. And Dungaree. Last but not least, our silly tech pick is Desert Gunner Gaiban. Gaiban is one of the predecessors of Eugene. Yes, I still remember Eugene. See, you're learning so much about history with me today. Desert Gunner Gaiban, at the end of the battle, that your Vanguard attack, choose one of your units, and it gains 3000 power and is Sentinel restrictability. Sentinel restrict, in case you can't tell from the name, basically means your opponent cannot guard that attack with Sentinels. Wonderful! Detonix Drill is a Vanguard that stands and attacks twice, which means that you get to use Gaiban's effect twice. However, because of the fact that, Gaiban's kind of on the weaker side of things, you only really need one of him on the board at any one point in time. So I feel 2 off is fine. I know for those of you who are consistent watchers on my channel, especially for my V-Series content, thank you so much for continuing to support me. You notice I don't really tend to be a fan of 2 offs, but Gaiban is in that niche corner where he's really good, but he's really bad in large amounts. So 2 is fine. Last but not least, for our triggers, we play for Hill Guardians. I think this one is pretty obvious because we kind of want to, modulate our damage. We don't want to go into too high of a damage count. This isn't a deck like, say, Armor Break Dragon, where you just want to eat as much damage as possible. No, you don't want that. We play 8 criticals because this is still a restanding Vanguard deck, and we want to kill him as fast as possible. We play 4 effect draws. Draw PGs. I'm so used to D. We play 4 draw PGs because, it's gold. Everyone plays gold. And then a starter. Any starter will do. If you manage to buy Linchu, congratulations, you are actually dedicated. Whatever Narukami starter you play, frankly, I don't care, but I just use this one because I had a spare, right next to my bed frame. But realistically, I own every Narukami starter. I can play what I want. And that's gonna wrap up my Detonix Drill Dragon deck profile. I think I personally can tell you from personal experience that, when I was writing my schedule in terms of my release, how I'm going to release my videos, I definitely felt tears in my eyes when I typed the words Detonix Drill onto my calendar. It was really fun for me to be able to test this deck and to spend time with it and to cover it once again. There are some decks that really stay with you no matter the time. And that's really just because you have a personal attachment to it. There are some decks that we have personal attachments to that, just straight up just become complete trash. But there are some decks that, no matter what we do, they're just not good. But if we really try, we can still play it at a viable level. We can still play it at a level that's not very highly competitive. Detonix Drill is definitely not Narukami's best. I think we're all pretty clear on that. But, as long as he is still playable, I'm still willing to pick him up for a casual game. Narukami's right fix promo though is definitely something you need to be watching on, because for every non-eradicator Narukami deck, you could potentially find a home for her. Stuff like Vanquisher, stuff like, Dungaree. You definitely have spots for her, and it's worth looking into it because you kind of want to emulate the consistency that Vanquisher and Eradicators boast, which is why Eradicators keep getting banned in Premium. Guys, if you don't play the clan anymore, I can stop losing cards. Do you understand? Is anyone listening? Come on, go back to your NLK. Go back to your Shiranuris, your Shirayukis. Stop playing Narukami. I need my card pool back. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.